Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And a little bit ago I did a video on these Wera Hex Bit Adapters for both 3/8 and 1/4 inch drive ratchets. And I really like them. They're solid, they're essential in a lot of cases. They allow full functionality of your ratchet features, but they'll handle any bits. So if you want to toss a long speed bit in, there they go. If you want to put a little regular bit in, great. You got it locked in, plastic collar, spring loaded, uses a double ball bearing system on the corner, so it's in there. The bit's held in really strong. Now a couple of things came up. First of all, these are non-impact rated, and they say so right there, non-impact. And Wera also makes some impact ones. They look like this. And some people also suggested a company called Gedore that makes a less expensive bit holder that seats on a ratchet for 3/8 and 1/4. So what I did is went out and got both the Gedore set and the impact rated Wera set, and I'm going to compare them. So there are some differences. First of all, let me throw the prices out there right away. The two Weras that are non-impact rated, that have the plastic collars, these guys sell for, the 3/8 is $24.66 right now on Amazon, whereas the 1/4 is $22.40. So these are the most expensive ones here. The next set, if we go to the impact rated ones, you can see that they're raw steel, not chrome plated. They have a little bit different collar mechanism. I'll show you in a sec. The impact rated ones, 3/8 is $19.56 today, and the 1/4 is $18. And then finally, if we compare the Gedores, the 3/8 Gedore, these, as far as I can tell, I don't think they're impact rated because they certainly don't look like they would be, and I think they're chrome covered. But anyway, the 3/8 to 1/4 hex sells for $9.27. You know, about half what the Wera, least expensive Wera is. And then the 1/4 Gedore sells for $5.39 on Amazon right now. So they're a lot less, but it's a different animal. It's a totally different design, and I'll go over that right now. So first of all, let me compare the two Weras, and these are the same for both the 1/4, the 1/4s, and the halves. There are a couple of notes. Notable differences here. First of all, the Wera non-impact rated is chrome plated, and this one looks more like the raw steel that you'd expect, maybe anodized or something, I'm not sure, in order to get that patina, but it doesn't appear to have any chrome, and that means that it's safer to use in an impact environment. Probably has a little bit different steel too. Sometimes they use a harder, more brittle steel in the standard, and then a little bit more springier steel, flexible or softer in the impacts. So the numbers on these two, I'll put links down below, but you've got the 784B1 for the impact rated 3/8 to 1/4, and then the 87B4 or 8784B1 for the non-impact. Now, this part of it, they're identical. The way they seat onto the socket, onto the ratchet, like a socket, that's the same. There are a couple of differences, if you notice. Right away, the collars are different. In fact, the collar, this is a plastic collar, dual-colored plastic collar. This is a solid metal collar. You can see the amount of movement there, right there. Now, both of them use a ball bearing locking system, and each one has 2 ball bearings. If I get this one up close, you can see the little ball bearing right down in there, and as I raise this, it releases, kind of like a ramp, I'm assuming, releases the ball bearing to recess into the housing, which means then that a bit can now slide down in there. Now, when I slide a bit in, some bit holders you can actually preload, like this one, so when you put the bit in, it locks down. And then that pops it up, and you can actually get it in and out with one hand. These, on the other hand, require the collar to be raised in order to get the bit in, and then they seat, like that little snap right there. Once they're in, they're rock solid, and they're holding on 2 sides, or 2 corners, into those little notches in the bit. If you throw a speed bit in, what you end up doing is dropping the bearings into that large recessed area in the bit, which means that there's a lot of play. Now, another thing is the position of the bearing, or of the ball bearings. They are lower in the non-impact, or they're higher in the impact, however you look at it. So if I drop comparable bits in, so I've got two PB Swiss bits here, and you can see the little indentations, they all line up. So when I put it in here and put it in here, you can see, make sure that's locked in. The collar difference. This one actually has some of the hex extended out. This one does not. That is because the bearings are down low inside the non-impact rated one, and they're higher in the impact rated one. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but that's how these are held. So if I can line it up so you can actually see, but you can see the bearing. Anyway, it's way down. You see that little speck of light in this guy versus that. So you can see there's a height difference. So that's the main thing I noticed. So the chrome, probably a different steel, collars plastic, bearings in a different position. Same across the board with these two as well. So the next is, what about the Gedore? By the way, they're all better than these snap-on things. So the Gedores, let's take a look at those. They use kind of an older school collar, kind of a spring-loaded metal collar with a recessed bearing. So that actually acts kind of this acts as a spring on here, which also causes nothing but a friction fit. And what's interesting about this is that bearing, if you notice, try to get in there, is located on the wall of the side of the socket rather than the corner. So what that does is it just grabs with friction along this edge of the bit. It never engages with anything other than just a friction fit along the side. And when that happens, that means that the bit just pops in and out real easy. It does not hold snug. It's snugger than the snap-on one, but that's all it is, and that's the same on both. So it's a much simpler system, but then that's where the cost saving comes in. That all it is a hole with a collar. The collar doesn't go all the way around, so it kind of acts like a spring, so you can push the bearing against that little dimple there and slide the bit in and out. So it holds it for a lot of uses. But if you've got persnickety fasteners, or you're using something that involves some, like diamond-coated bits that really seat into the fastener, you end up often pulling the bit out. I also noticed, well, I don't think these are chrome or rated for impact, is if I pop one of these off, you can see it here. I'm getting chrome flakes all over everything from these Gedores. In fact, sometimes I can even get it all over my finger here. I've been doing it a little bit, but anyway, there's all kinds of chrome flakes popping off. I don't know if that's the finish work or what, but anyway, I don't expect these to last the same. Look at that. Look at all that chrome coming out of there. Nothing like that on the Veras. They're just great. Get a clean finger in there. Yeah, maybe it could be coming off the socket actually, or the ratchet, because I've been switching them around. Anyway, the Veras are my favorite. I really like the plastic collar. I like that this seats the bit in further. Seems like it holds it very tight. In fact, that's probably about the tightest. There's no play. Whereas these, there's a little tiny bit of knocking, just a hair, but that friction fit. So if it's just something that you're going to use occasionally, not on real sticky fasteners, you're not going to use it with something, in fact, not going to use it with any kind of a diamond-coated bit. Let me drop that guy in. That locks it way in because it drops all the way to the edge of that thing. But anyway, if you're not going to use any diamond-coated bits that get stuck in fasteners, I think they're fine. Something, though, about the price. Well, I originally was happy with this one, and then I thought I better learn more and get this one, and then I might as well get the Gedore. what I did is I turned this one little item, after I bought both sets, quarters and 3/8 to quarter across the board, it's $100. So all of these little guys here added up, mainly, you know, because of the Veras there. That's what $100, get that out of there, $100 in bit adapters looks like, right there. Well, not quite 100, $99.28. But there they all are. I think these are rock solid, great. If you're not going to use impact, I like the feel of this, and I like how it seats it. And if you just want to have kind of a just in case or for general use, these are fine, and they're a lot less money. There are tons of these available. I see them on Amazon all over the place for all kinds of different, from all kinds of different companies. But it's nice to have a good solid company standing behind the tools. Anyway, thought that might be helpful if you're interested in these. So don't feel bad about getting any particular one unless you want an impact rated. You gotta. That seems to be the only choice right there. And you know, I thought about using these in the Overland kit just because they're smaller and lighter. But for the kind of stuff I would need this for, I would rather have the bit locked in. I don't want to have the bit fall out, get stuck. You know, something. We're not in a nice garage environment. We're in the trail. It could be raining and muddy. You know, you drop a tool, you might be looking for the tool. But basically, having a choice like this is easy when you're in the shop. But once you're out in the field, I might go with this one though, just because I like it. Maybe I'll weigh them and see which one's better. But anyway, so there they are. All of them. And with that, Doc out.